Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and another Monday. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend in sales. I would say in our end, it was kind of just okay, which doesn't mean it was bad. It just means that it could have been better. But that's just me. I'm always looking for improvements over the last week, and that hasn't happened. So, um, while we wait for Jenna to play with her drink. Just wanted to let you guys know that the sign, it's crazy because the sign is functional. It works. And the remotes that we have work for it. Yet it seems like I have to have the cord in a certain way. Otherwise, it'll just turn off. And I don't know where this came from. I don't know how I'm going to fix it. But right now it's happy. But if I move it, it may not be. Or if it moves on its own, it may turn off. So got to figure that out. I'm not an electrician, but I don't know how hard or easy it is to replace a power cord for one of these things. And I'm not going to even try. But with all that said, want to let some people kind of roll in. I think we have only about 20 or 30 people watching right now. But if you're watching us on the live, please participate in the conversation. Whether that is asking your questions or it's answering someone else's question. If you're watching after the fact and couldn't make the live stream, well, of course, hate that you're not here with us, but maybe next time. And either way, no matter how you watch this, hit the like button. That gets the word out to other people that we have some halfway decent content on this channel. So today's topic, wanted to talk about best offer. And I've kind of talked about this before, but I'm getting really more offers than ever. And I have somewhat of a strategy that I follow, and it's not as aggravating for me. And it seems to work. I drive a lot of sales with it. Now, I know that there's a lot of you who don't want to be bothered with it. I know there's some of you who use it. I mean, this is just an idea. We're sharing an idea on, the idea of using the different tools that eBay gives us. Whether you're using coupon, best offer, best offer, offers to watchers, markdown sales. These are all tools to help you drive sales. Okay. And I think sometimes that if you leave one or more of these tools off the table and just refuse to use them, you might be losing money or leaving money out, for someone else to take. So that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this. Now, there's pros and cons of this, in my opinion. Now, there might be more reasons. There might be less. And you know what? This is driving me crazy. My hat's sideways.
The lighting keeps going in and out.
Sorry, my hat is driving me crazy because it doesn't look right. I feel like I have it on funky. So sorry about that, guys. Little wardrobe malfunction. They could do it in the Super Bowl. They can do it here on the Flippin' Ain't Easy show. But to me, there's reasons to use best offer, and there's reasons really not to. And to me, it's one reason is to clear old stock. If you have old stock, it's one of those things where, adding this to your listing can't hurt, right? I mean, the item's been sitting there forever. No matter how you feel about the item, either you're trying to sell it or you're not. You're not opening a museum. You don't run a museum. You run an eBay store. And so you're trying to move this merchandise. Another reason is to use best offer is you have room to negotiate the price. I find myself, like that mannequin, that intubation mannequin, I'm into it for $7. $7. Well, let me just take that back. More like $8. So I have room to negotiate. Okay. I listed the thing at $199, and somebody came to me, and this is the day I listed it. They came to me with an offer for $100. Now, I would say that's, yeah, you could say half of what I'm asking for is a lowball offer, but in perspective, compared to what I'm into it for, it's, over a 10x flip after fees and everything. And that's $100 plus shipping. I came back and countered because there's a couple reasons for it. If I would have had the item sitting there for a month or so, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks, I may have taken it. Okay. But the fact that I just listed the item, to me, I think that that's a very good sign that I'm getting offers the same day I list it, and I'm not going to sell myself short right away. Okay. So, I came back at 150. I said, look, and I'll tell you about my strategy here in a second, but 150 is where I came back. They came back at 120. And basically I came back at 150 because that's where I'm at. And I'll tell you about why I feel that way and why I negotiate that way here in a minute. And the reasons not to use best offer, okay? Maybe it's a newly listed item. And in fact, I don't even know why I had it on. My strategy is if it's a newly listed item, I will wait at least a week or two before I add it to the listing because I want the organic price that I've set to be the price that the buyer either takes or passes on. And I don't know, maybe I screwed up and left that offer in there in the listing now that I think about it. But the intention is not to use best offer right away for me. That's my strategy. I give it a week or two. And if the item still doesn't move, then I add best offer to the mix when I do my sell similar routine. Okay. How about it's a high demand item? That's another reason not to use best offer. If it's an item that is going to sell, you see many, many comps, you've sold this many, many times. Why would you lower the price or give the buyer a chance to lower the price when you know it's going to sell for full price? Okay. That's another reason why you should not use best offer. Okay. But I hear this a lot as a reason or an excuse as to not use best offer, and that is just not wanting to be bothered. Is that a valid reason? Because in my mind, I don't think it is. We talk about flipping ain't easy, and it ain't. But in the last thing I think that you want to do is find ways to make this easy, to make yourself comfortable. It's not comfortable negotiating with somebody. It's not comfortable negotiating with maybe a buyer who turns out to be an idiot. Okay. But at the same time, these are all opportunities. Can you imagine a car lot that didn't have their salespeople go out and greet customers that are just browsing at cars? They just stayed inside the air conditioned building and nice and comfortable. And they waited for the customers to come inside looking for someone to show them a car. Do you think that their sales would be as good as they could be? Now, you could be killing it. That'd be another reason why you don't want to deal with these buyers, is because you're killing it right now and you're happy, right? So why change anything? And a lot of this stuff that I bring up on these videos is just advice and ideas to get you started to try to make more sales. Okay. Now, going back to what I was telling you here, and I'll get off my soapbox and we can talk about it. And that is, I counter. This is what I do. Now, if someone comes to me and says, you know what, I'll give you $100 for that $200 item. That in many cases would be a low ball, but it is in perspective to what you're into the item for. You got to remember the market's one thing. What a buyer at that time is willing to pay becomes that immediate market price. And you have to counter in your mind, how much did I pay for this to begin with? How long have I listed this item? How long has it been sitting in my store? Those are all things you should consider. But what I do is when I get like that $100 price, I came back with 150 right away. And the reason why I didn't come back with 180, okay, I come back at 150. I figured that is at this time the lowest I will take for this item. So I set 150 as the price, and I came back and I told them, this item, I just listed it, and this is the lowest I'm willing to take for it. And one note, please, and I tell the buyer this, I don't play the haggle game that some sellers play on eBay, where I go back and forth. This is the lowest price. So they came back at 120. I guess they didn't read my note, or they thought maybe I was bluffing. I came back at 150. I didn't hear anything back from them. And that's fine because I just listed the item. And really, I shouldn't even have had that option on that listing to begin with. So I'm fine with that. But what I've noticed is buyers usually will make the initial offer. And even if you counter, they'll never come back. They'll never see it. Maybe they're no longer in that mode. Maybe they bought the item. Maybe they found another seller that gave them the price they're looking for. A lot of times you'll never hear back once you make a counter. You need to keep these things in mind, because if it's an item that you really are on the fence, maybe you had it for a while, but you really want more money, you kind of torn between the two, just remember that a lot of buyers don't come back with a second offer. So just something to consider. But another strategy is to just simply tell the buyer, this is my lowest price. If you're not willing to take it, I'll give you the first crack at it. And then if they don't take it, lower the price to that price. You're willing to sell to this person for 150. Well, then lower it to 150 for everyone. That's another strategy. And just depends on your sales volume, how long you've had the item in your store. And so that's my take on it. I think it's an excellent tool. Utilize that with your coupons, markdown sales, and you're going to get more sales. I get probably another 15 to 20% more of my sales are from offers. Another maybe 10% from offers to watchers. And, I'd say the rest are organic. But I mean, can you imagine increasing your sales by 20 to 30% if done right? And if your sourcing allows you to? I just told you I was into that mannequin for $7, but if I was into it for 50, I probably wouldn't even, come back at 150. Maybe it'd have been 180, right? So we're trying to make money. And the way you do that is with your sourcing. And then the tools that eBay gives you is going to help you after that point. So that's my soapbox. And hopefully you guys have some questions or some ideas or some strategies that you can share with everyone else here that's watching. We had Nathan G's in the house. Says, honestly, I don't use best offer that much anymore. I don't see it helping me much, and it ties up my time more. If someone needs something, they will buy it and pay. I agree with that. Again, it depends on the demand of the items that you're offering. If you're offering items that aren't that high in demand, then you've got to do everything you can to help get that sale. Okay. Picky Ricky says, I've not used it for a couple of years. Too many low ballers trying it on. And you can get around the whole low baller thing. If that's something that kind of bothers you, set your minimum price that, it auto declines at a certain price. So you don't even have to deal with these people if you don't want to. But if they come to you with a price that's reasonable, I have many times I'll have an item that's for sale for $30. And I'm getting an offer. It says I have an offer that's waiting for me. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, what are they going to throw at me now? And they come back at me with 25. It's like, okay, these are serious buyers. I accept the offer and we move on. They pay for it and all is good. I would say for me, about half of the offers I get are kind of like that. And if you have the setting turned off or on where it auto declines, you're just going to see the good offers, and all the acceptable offers are going to come through. Let's see. Mark Sedek's in the house. Hope everyone had a great sales weekend with lots of sales. And then he also says, best offer only brings out stupid lowball offers. It's a waste of time. But again, you can use that option to just say, okay, when you're setting up your listing, $40 is my minimum. And if they don't clear that on their offer, it gets declined anyway. Let's see. We've got some sidebar conversation. You guys are really awesome. You guys come in and hang out for a good solid hour before we even start the show. So we have Sandra Howard says, hi, everyone. Hope we all had a good weekend. Really good. Hoyer. I get it all screwed up. You know me. I don't think half the time when I'm reading. But another weekend. Got a chance to go out and play a little golf. 90-something degrees here.
It's 90 degrees right now.
And it's going to get hotter.
Sweating.
It's going to get hotter before it gets cooler. That's what they say, at least out here in Nevada. That stranger says hello. And it says, I had a strange offer last week. I had a price of $55. They offered $45. I countered with $50 and they declined the offer and paid the full price right away.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. You know what? You're not going to tell me what to do. I'll pay whatever I want to pay.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, that's really weird. But I kind of question the 45. I'm sorry, the counter at 50. I'm wondering, that's really not bad. It just depends. Again, if you're into the item for 30, then I can see why you'd come back at 50. Let's see. Ping G says no sales all week. That's horrible, Ping. What are you selling? I'm curious. Mike is in the house. Hi, John and Jenna. Hello, FA family. Hope everyone had a nice holiday and great sales this week. It was good. Made us all a brisket, and it came out. I didn't eat all of it. you guys loved it more than I did, actually. But we did that over the weekend, so
You
it was
didn't
pretty good.
tell them what you made. You
Brisket.
I know you didn't say it.
I said brisket.
I made and then I didn't eat it all.
Oh, I thought I said it.
No.
Okay, well, in my mind, I said it.
Mhm.
I made a brisket, and it came out. I think it came out really, really good. But I'm biased. Let's see here. Jovial says, "Hello, FAE family. Did the Easter Bunny poop in anyone's basket this weekend?" Well, I hope not.
Nope.
I hope not. Let's see. It's funny. Someone had told me, we were talking to some people. They said that they were talking about how people were they were coloring potatoes instead of eggs for Easter this year because the eggs were too
I thought that was
expensive.
just a joke.
Well, someone made it sound like it was something they reported on that wasn't a joke, but I wouldn't doubt it. Let's see. Trying to get to the actual comments when the show started here, so I apologize. Sandra says, every time I hit the like, I get a sale. I'm convinced it works. Otherwise, I sold 8 items over the weekend, which was fine for me. So yes, if you hit the like button, usually what happens is you're going to get a sale in 24 hours. I don't know why, but it just works. We get so many people that hit the like button and they say, oh, wow, I just got a sale. You're putting out positive vibes out there, I guess. I don't know, but it works.
When you put out positivity, you get it right back.
SM Postcards. Mark says, hello, how are you doing today? Thank you for being here with us today. Let's see. Picky Ricky says, I literally did not get one sale for like 80 hours, and finally I got one on Etsy, and then all of a sudden I get 7 on eBay today. It's crazy how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, you could have been on a bad server.
Why is our lighting going in and out?
I think it's the camera. I think it's if you guys see like the lighting kind of changing, going in and out, it's not us goofing around. I think it's just my Logitech webcam is going kind of crazy.
Need something better.
Yeah, but the last one I bought one that was like a wide zoom, and I'm like, no, that ain't gonna work because it like showed more of the room. It didn't have like a focus zoom.
Do you see it's going from cool to warm? It's really annoying.
Oh well, I'm looking at the comments, so I'm not really even focusing.
I know, but you're not the one watching.
I know, but all they have to do is look at the comments like I am, and they won't be bothered with it. Just listen to my voice while you're working. Let's see, Prosser. I was getting kind of worried. I didn't know if you're going to be with us anymore because I know you're not really doing eBay much, and I didn't see you on the last live. But I use Zip Sale. If you're thinking of using it, let me know if I can get you a promo code that'll give you free usage for a month. Zip Sale. Want to know what that is? But of course, we're not sponsoring them, but just curious as to what that is. My son's in the house.
Hey, Jonathan!
And look, he's got the gray going on, and he is.
That's a really old picture.
And he has the gray going on, so it's really crazy.
I took that picture that he has in his profile.
We have Brian H in the house. How you doing, Brian? PTS Treasure says hello, everyone. Raul Solis says hello, John and Jenna. RV Butterfly. Hey, John and Jenna. I wonder, so you do the RV life, going yard sale to yard sale, state to state. That would be really cool to do, if that's what you're doing. But that's something I've always kind of wanted to do the RV thing. And
I would love to take like a month and just do
more than that if you can. There's so many places to see, and between maybe a little camping or maybe some golf, me and my golf, right? But yard sales and all that stuff, I think it'd be a really, really fun time. Silver Hair Stacker says howdy. Jono says Monday motivation, cha-ching. Yes. I'm out there because you guys know that tomorrow afternoon I'm heading out, so I am out there just busting butt to get things listed on schedules. So I have my listing scheduled. I ran out of drafts, so I'm really kind of getting stuff listed. But it's really cool the way I have it set up because like I said, in many cases I already know what I'm getting before I pick it up. So I'm already the night before making the listings. So now I just have to put the SKU where it's located, the weight and dimensions of the item, and to just check it, make sure that everything checks out, the actual condition, update the listing, put it away, and move on to the next one. So that's kind of what I've been doing today. Andy Reno says, Andy in Indiana in the house. So how you doing, Andy? Dave Harrington says, sup, John? How you doing, Dave? Eric V says, malfunction, LOL. Malfunction. What malfunction when we came on? Because I know I malfunction like all the time on these lives. So
we almost had a malfunction today.
Yeah.
We had did you ever post that?
No, because I figured that it was going to be fine.
Yeah, we had an outage that was scheduled from 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. today.
Well, it was noted it's for our internet, of course. Surprise, surprise, right? So they posted a little thing on our door saying anywhere from 6 a.m. to noon, or noon till 6. And they said,
5 to noon.
Well, it doesn't matter. It didn't happen. So I got up this morning. I'm like, oh crap, the internet's working. So that means that we got the noon to 6 slot. So of course, the person from the internet company was outside. I walked over. He said, no, it's good. Try it out. I'm fine. So I'm like, all right, we're good. We can go on. And we didn't really tell you guys about it or anything like that. So all is well. And well, knock on particle board, we don't have any issues. But if we were to have an issue, stick with us for, at least 5 minutes. Hang in here, because I'm going to shoot it right over to my phone and put the gimbal on so that we don't have to hold the phone, and we'll just do the live that way. Or actually, what I'll do is I'll just do the hotspot and to the computer. So we'll just do it that way. Raul says, did anyone else have any glitches on eBay over the weekend? My products had its views were to 0, then none. Well, that could be, I'm just putting it out there. I don't know how old the item is, but it's a rolling 30-day period. So if you have like views on an item that's like 30 days old or 29 days old, and the 30 days passes from that view, then that view is going to drop off. So don't know if that's the case, but that's what usually happens. So my son says, and he has the same name as me, says, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it. Yep. And he has his own channel, Miller Time, as you can see, but he has his own channel. If you guys do like the Instacart game, or if you're doing the, I don't think he does a lot of material on Uber Eats or DoorDash or anything like that. Maybe he will, but he's more into like the Instacart stuff. So if you like that, go check his channel out. Fisher Flip says, if you're not using all the tools provided by eBay, you more than likely will not get sales. It's unfortunately, but it's unfortunate, but it's what we need to do. And, if you're in a position where you're just killing it and you've got nothing, let's say you're just organic, no promoted listings, no coupons, no markdown sales, no best offer, and you don't even bother. Someone comes in and watches your item. You're like, let that list build up. I don't care. I'm making sales. Then you've got like the perfect gig going on. But if you're happy with your sales the way they are and you don't want to see an increase in sales, then by all means, don't use any of those things. But if you want to see what would happen, how well your sales would even go even further, maybe utilizing some of these things. And I get it. You're already making the profit margin you want to make. You're not having any problems getting people to buy your item. Maybe you have a bunch of iPhones that you're selling. You don't need to do anything to get those things to sell. And maybe you're figuring, why do I want to give eBay or lower my price any more than I have to? If you're in that ballpark, then don't utilize anything I tell you to do. Keep doing what you're doing. Raul says, I love using offers. I think it's great. I get them. It's like a surprise. It's like, okay, I don't get the cha-ching, but I get the little thing that pops up on my eBay screen on my PC that says, hey, I have an offer pending. And I jump right on it as soon as possible. That's another thing. Don't let the offer sit. Chances are that buyer is trying to buy something. They don't know you from Adam. So they gave you an offer. Well, whether or not you take the offer is irrelevant to them. They're still hunting for whatever they're looking for. And the longer you wait to get back to that person, the chances are they may have found the item that they're looking for from someone else. And B, maybe they just forgot about it. They're not in eBay mode. They're not looking at their app. They're off doing something else. And that offer that you send them, or is just going to, or that counter offer that you send them is just going to go by the wayside because they're not going to see it. Let's see, we got Simplify in the house. Thanks for being here. And Tommy Bernard, I don't use best offer ever. Best offer buyers are a totally different breed. You know what? Look, the low ballers, the one that we call low ballers that want to come back at start off at $1 when you're into the item for 10, those people, yeah, those are a waste of time. But even if you're at the point of, I don't want to be dealing with low ballers or those kind of people who just waste my time, cut them off at the pass. Put that, set it up with that, whatever that is, $30, $40 is your lowest price. Make that your cutoff so that they don't even get through to you if they can't start off at a reasonable price. Christy Meyer says, do you find a good return on offers to watchers? I mean, as far as the margin, what I make, yeah, because I start off, I source really low. That's the key. A lot of my items that I'll list, I'm in, for pennies on the dollar. Like I'll buy something for $2. I have something right now that I just listed this morning. I bought for like $2 and change, and I put it up for $80. Okay, that gives me a lot of room. So I have it for 80. No offers for the first week, 2 weeks, and let's see what happens. And if within the first 2 weeks it sells, great. I don't have to worry about it. If it doesn't, I can sell similar, end items, sell similar, add offers. And even if I take half of what I, maybe wanted, hey, I'm still making some pretty good money. And that's kind of where you want to be. You want to find items to sell. I mean, that's what we talk about all the time on this channel. But you want to be in that place where you have a lot of room to work with. And that's the most important part. No matter what we tell you in this channel, getting there where you find low priced items to sell at a higher price, maybe better deals than what your competitors get. That's where you want to be. Process says best offer is putting the buyer in the driver's seat. I don't care if they're driving it or not, to be honest with you. They can drive the train all they want. If they come back at a price that I'm comfortable with, then if they're in control, that's fine. I'm happy with it. RV Butterfly says, I use offers. However, I have some people who make some really low ball offers, even on new listings. And again, use that option to cut off those low ballers so they don't bother you. Wickedberg says, accepted return that buyer received damage, got it back with additional damage, not disclosed, did not refund shipping cost. Well, that's the least I would do. Honestly, I would say if that buyer did not disclose the damage that came back to you, well, to me, for one, I'm thinking that might be a swap out. But if they damaged it, then you have to evaluate how bad is the item and deduct up to 50%. And if it changes your condition from, let's say, maybe you had it as really good condition, now it's beat up, I'd give them 50%. That's what I'd give them. Vladimir Sorokolit says, hello, Ukrainian. Well, hey, how you doing out there? Thanks for being here. It's crazy. You got like all this stuff going on out there in Ukraine, and you had time to tune in to the Flippin' Ain't Easy channel. That's pretty awesome. Just keep your head down with everything going on out there. I don't know if I was in Ukraine, I don't know if I'd be thinking about reselling right now, but the fact that you are, thanks for being here with us today. Cassandra says, if you just listed the item and they offered a very low price, they're needing that item but didn't want to pay fair market value, they know the market rate. Yeah, some people maybe need an item and maybe they can't afford to pay full retail. Now, I guess in our minds, we can think, well, that's their problem. And you're right, it is their problem. But if they come to you with the price that's fair and makes you money, you've been sitting on that item for quite some time, why not, right? Biff says people who get upset by lowball offers have thin skin. That's sales. It's sales, right? You're going to get people that lowball you. As soon as you activate best offer, that's just what you're going to get. But eBay has tools in place so you don't have to see that. And just another way to get a customer who may have just passed your item by and not given it any thought. The fact that, okay, they want 100, maybe they'll take 70. That's really all I can afford. But if you didn't have that option and they can't afford 100, they ain't buying from you. Brenda Baumstark says, hi, good to see you both. Thank you, Brenda, for being here. I love seeing the new names, people that just pop up and, I haven't seen before. Sylvia Chamberlain says, hello, everyone. Thank you, Sylvia, for being here. Lawrence Trombley says, if you keep turning down offers, do you think eBay will get mad and start dropping your listings down lower on the list? I don't think so.
I don't think it has anything to do with the search placement.
There's people that feel like if you decline, you kind of hurt the rest of your items that are for sale. I don't believe in that. I don't have any proof. I don't have any data or I can't recall any time I've declined something when I was having bad.
Yeah. I don't think
that's a thing.
I don't think it's a thing at all.
Now, I am one to say that there's things that you can do that really will put the algorithm in your favor. But if someone lowballing you and they won't come up in price and you decline, I have a hard time thinking eBay is going to hold that against you. And then Tommy says, no offers have zero to do with search placement. Yeah. Sandra says, I never get insulted by lowballers. I just decline. Why shouldn't the buyer try and get it for the cheapest? I source that way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you go at a yard sale and say, some of you guys just take the price of whatever they tell you, right? And I guess that's fine. But every yard sale has a best offer. It's just not advertised. So, you ask this person, what do you want for it? $10. You look it up, you can get 30 for it. Well, to me, that's kind of borderline. You probably, unless you know it's going to sell like overnight, I wouldn't mess with it. But maybe you can get it for 5, right? Maybe you can get it for less than that. Maybe you can bundle it with other items and get a deal that way. So what makes that person any worse than resellers for asking for a lower price or trying to get it as cheap as possible? Picky Ricky says, sometimes these lowballers do try and pay the shipping and eBay fees and leave nothing for the seller. So, yep, that hits my thin skin. Well, again, I don't have that option set up because if someone comes to me for, $5 on $100 item, I'm going to tell them, look, this is the lowest I'm going to take. Either you want it or you don't. But I'm not going to play the haggle game with you. And usually I'll give them 3 strikes. So I look at it as baseball. I'm a baseball guy. I like baseball. So you give me that low ball offer, strike 1. I'm going to tell you where I stand. You come back, you try to bump it up by $10. I'm going to come back. That's strike 2. I'm going to come back, same price. Again, I'm going to tell them this is it. The best I can do. Again, I'm not going to come down to the price. And if they try to shoot me a low offer again, I just decline. And that's it. So they strike out. That's kind of how I play that game.
Decline and block. They can go.
No. I won't block just yet. I do block a lot of people, but not for just being unrealistic, because there's been many times I've come back and said, decline. 3rd time, you're out. They have 4 chances to come back. So they'll come back and they'll finally come back at an offer that's reasonable, or within, maybe they'll come back at the price. That's happened before. And if I go and block them, then they're not going to have a chance to do that. They got to do something worse than that for me to block them. No One Designs in the house. Hey, Jenna and John, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Tommy says offers are to entice the flea market buyers to kick your tires. Yeah. Here's the thing though. If you are I don't know what you're into your shoes for instance. For instance, you sell, I think your average price you sell your shoes are over like 60, $70. If you're into them for $10, you probably don't want to even entertain anything lower than what you've set, right? Your sales are good. There's really no reason for you to. But if sales took a dramatic drop, and you had a lot of stock, and your supplier is like, hey, I got more stuff that's waiting for you, and your store is like starting to build up, you might think about maybe putting best offers in there and just setting a low price and saying, hey, maybe I'll generate some more sales. I promise you, it's helped us tremendously, at least 20% additional sales just from the low or the best offer. I have, this is what sucks about best offer. eBay still hasn't provided a way for everyone to pay for it right away. So I'm sitting on 3 or 4 items all the time that are waiting for someone to pay. And then eventually they'll roll around and pay, and I'll have to cancel maybe 1 out of every 5 I'm canceling after the 4th day. But if it's generating more sales, that's all it's about. Lawrence Trombley, I've taken lowball offers. It seems that these are the ones who don't pay. It's like a big joke to them. And for some it is, but also for some, maybe people have a serious need, and maybe they just offered 4 sellers, $20 for the same item. And then one person comes back to them, takes the offer. If you come back after that first seller and says, I'll take your offer, guess what? They ain't paying for it because they already got the item and paid for the item to the first seller. So something to consider there. Andy says, I just got to sell and I haven't hit the like button yet. And just imagine what will happen once you do. So
just keep reading.
Okay. Savage Picker says, hello all. Thanks for being here. Silver Hair says, best offer is my thing. I love the haggle. Some people like it, right? Some people just don't want to be bothered. And
I don't want to be bothered.
But isn't that sales though?
No, it's like, okay, so I run Posh, and that's where the low ballers are. Okay. And I cannot stand going back and forth with somebody. I can't do it. And so those people get blocked on Poshmark.
Yeah.
They can go kick rocks because I'm not playing games. I give you already, our stuff is so low in price that, yeah, I can bend a couple bucks here and there on Poshmark, but I'm not going to play the game. I'm not going to, make $5 on a pair of shoes. That's just stupid to me when, you can go all throughout Posh and see these people, selling shoes for $80 to $100. The shoes that we sell on Posh are so low. I just don't have the room to.
Yeah.
We just want to move them. So that's why they're so low. So taking, $5 offers for a pair of Nikes or a pair of Adidas, no, not happening.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to sell the item at your cost, right?
Right.
So, unless you've sat on that item for a year or two, there's no reason to do that. Now, Piggy Ricky, I just had this happen today. The buyers will inbox you anyway when you don't have offers on. For whatever reason, I had a pair of shoes that I guess didn't have an offer on it. This pair of Nikes, those white Nikes, and I had for $30. I think it was $29.99, and I'm only into the shoes for like $2 a pair. You guys know all that, those shoes that I picked up last year. And I came back and said, well, he came back with a message to me, and he said, hey, will you do $30 total? That's including shipping for this pair. So I don't want to sell an item without charging shipping because, again, that they return it, I'm on the hook for giving them a full refund. So I told them, look, the best I'll do is 20 plus the cost of shipping. Apparently they didn't get back to me, and I got an offer. So they did send me a message, and then so they sent me an offer. They did have offers on it, and they sent me an offer for $21 and change. And I took it, and I guess they must be local or close because the shipping was less than $10. So they ended up getting the price they wanted, but I'm not interested in giving free shipping on certain items. Christy says, sometimes I like the offers to clear inventory that may be hanging around. Yes, that's a strategy, right?
Yeah.
Again, there's an element of sellers out there who do not, I don't care how long they've held on for the item for, they are not making an offer. They're not going to budge. There's no way. They're adamant about how much I saw when I first bought this item 2 years ago that I could sell it for 40. I am not selling it for anything less than 40. And they're adamant. They don't want to have best offers. And why? Why? There's no need to have an attachment to your items. If you are thinking that the market is absolute and it's never going to change, then that's a bad strategy. You need to be flexible, clear your inventory. I would love to clear about maybe 3 or 4 racks out there I mean, if someone came by and said,
"You're going to be gone. I can do that for you."
No need. I mean, this we'll sell them, but someone came by and said, "Look, I'll give you $500 for everything on this rack." I would be like, "Cool, I can actually get more stuff on those racks, and clear maybe some other space that I'm taking up." So um, you got to be in the mindset where you're in the business of moving merchandise, and if that means that you're only making a small profit, well, maybe that means that you need to buy something different next time. Um, there's a lot of stores out there that that do well, and that they're holding on to merchandise for quite some time, and unfortunately they're not interested in trying to move it, and I think that's a mistake. Ed's in the house. That's what I do. I put a minimum now. Poshmark is where I get the really dumb low ball offers.
Yes.
Yeah. Kina's in the house. And we have Flippin' Con Marco says, I've had 2 Loungefly women's wallets. Didn't do so good on eBay. Too many watchers, no buyers. Listed them on Mercari, and one sold within a day.
That's cool.
And see, that's just it. I mean, if you're looking at competition, that has to also be factored into your decision. Maybe you have an item up for sale that has a lot of there's a lot of other people trying to sell that thing, and you get someone coming your way making an offer. Maybe that's a good idea, maybe to take it. But like Marco here is saying that cross-posting, cross-listing it doesn't hurt. It's a good idea. And a lot of times I'll find that sellers on Mercari for a particular item are fewer to deal with. Maybe you're only dealing with 5 other sellers on that item as compared to 20, 30, or 40 on eBay. And it's a lot easier. Yeah, less people are on Mercari, but you have less competition to deal with as well. Ping says, I only sell Disney collectibles. Need the right buyer, as most are long tail items. It was funny. I wish I still had those. I don't think I do. Picked those Disney shoes. I think we chucked them, but
they're not authentic.
Yeah, I wanted to show you guys, and it's weird. Didn't it have like, it said Disney like on, it was like imprinted on was on the inside of the shoe? It wasn't on a tag, right?
Right. It was on the bed of the inside of the shoe, but it was not in Disney's writing. The
just says Disney, right?
It just says Disney, and they were fakes. I mean, obviously they were.
And of course we threw those out because the last thing you want to do is list something that can get you into trouble like that. That's a knockoff item. I was
like, no, those are not gonna sell.
Yeah.
I mean, plus they weren't in the greatest of condition anyway.
Yeah, it's like when you go to Tijuana and you just need a pair of shoes, you're gonna get you're gonna get something like that. Ed, the reselling writer, says, I sold 2 things this weekend. Part my fault, since my focus was the holidays with the kids. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. One thing I wish I could have done when my kids were growing up, be a little bit better, is being a little bit more present. But of course, I had a job, a 9 to 5, that kept me on the swing shift.
More of a 6 p.m. to 2:30 a.m.
More like 2:30 to 11 at first. This is like, many, many years ago when the kids were, in elementary school. And of course, I'm going to work and they're still at school or on the way home from school. And, I'm getting home from work, and you know what? They're in bed. So that's it's a sad reality, but you got to take time for the kids. So good on you, Dad, for doing that. Guide Guru says, hey, I finally made a live. It's been a while. Yeah, well, hey, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you. Blackwood Reseller says, don't use best offer due to non-payment. Yeah, I mean, it's a pain, right? You got items that are sitting around that probably can sell, but you're waiting for someone to pay. Let's hope eBay follows through with their promises. I'm not going to hold my breath, but at the same time, I'm not going to stop using the feature either until they fix it. So let's just hope that changes. Ed says, also, my sourcing is going to have to change because my main sourcing guy had to raise the price on me, so not worth it anymore. Lesson, don't rely on the one place for inventory. So let me ask you, Ed, does he know what you do with these shoes? So I'm assuming you're still buying shoes. So when you're buying this large batch of shoes, does he know that, look, I need to be into these for this much a pair, otherwise I can't make money? If you're not buying from him or her anymore, then, you know, he has to find, or she has to find a different person to move these to. And they're losing business as well. So maybe sit down and have a conversation. So, hey, what can we do? Maybe I need to buy more. Maybe I need to take some of these other less desirable pairs off your hands. What can we do to keep the price per pair the same? Maybe that's an angle that you have to shoot. No One Design 2 says, I only use best offer, my $2 shoes that slips through the cracks in my inventory from my crackheads. You got to get rid of those crackheads. I think they're holding,
they run the whole business.
They're holding you back.
No way.
PTS,
I wish I had some crackheads.
I'm glad we don't. PTS Treasure says, got my sale on Mercari even. Wow, there we go. Yay. You must have hit the like button, like you held down the mouse button like a little longer than normal to get the Mercari sale. Savage Picker says, a majority of my sales came from offers or come from offers. Yeah. Mad Scientist says, my sales have been down for the last 2 weeks. So in your case, I mean, you're a perfect candidate for looking at the different options that maybe you don't have enabled. Maybe you need to get a public coupon in there, get a markdown sale. I plan on doing a little video to show how I use markdown sales. I have them run every 2 weeks, mainly because I want the buyer to see like the last day, like it's the sales ending in a day kind of thing. And I have the markdown sale automatically restarting every 2 weeks. So I have it planned out 6 months ahead of time, so I don't have to think about it. But utilizing everything you can to change that. And I think maybe even getting in and start messing with your prices and seeing how flexible you can be. Where are you at when you bought it? How much did you pay for it? And I know you're trying to get this amount, but can you take less? Maybe go in and set your prices lower. Guide Guru says, I've been doing better on eBay. 2 weeks ago was the worst week I've ever had with 4 days of no sales. I've had 2,000 item store and I hadn't had no sales days in 3 years. Hopefully whatever they fixed works. Yeah, I mean, eBay will never let us know what's going on in the background. We just can't let that bring you down. You have to just keep pushing ahead. Slow sales days seem to get me more motivated because it's like, yeah, I'm not making sales a day. That means I need to get more stuff up, and it gets me working later, and I don't care. I don't mind doing it, but that's what works for me. Eventually it corrects itself and you usually have a pretty good day afterwards. Yard sale steals 300. Did you ever find your remote? Yeah, that's right here.
Who found his remote? But I found his remote. But
the thing is, with these electronics, these lights you buy on Amazon, one remote will work the same for the other ones. Whatever, it's crazy because the other remotes for my blue lights work for this sign, and I knew something was wrong I knew something was wrong.
It's the wire. It's not. I mean, of course, yeah, we lost the remote, or he lost the remote, but we found the remote, and even the remote wasn't working. So
we're a team.
We are.
So when I lose something, know what?
You lose everything.
We lose it.
I find everything.
We find it. We lose it. We find it.
It's not a we thing on that. No.
Picky Ricky says, my impressions are up 10% this month, partly sell similar and partly working harder. Yeah. But see right there, you controlled that. So that had everything to do with you. That didn't have anything to do with luck or, what server was, on your account that day. That had to do with the effort you put into it. Now, 10% don't seem like much, but let's say you're making, let's say 5,000 in sales every month. I mean, for some that's not obtainable, but just work with me here. That's an extra $500 a month in sales you're going to have just because of the effort that you put into it. So I like seeing that. Diane Propson says, your lighting goes in and out depending on how close you lean to the camera. When moving back and forth, it keeps changing. So if I do that, then okay, I'm not going to make you guys go crazy. I'll try to stay as still as I can. Sorry. And I think it has a lot to do with the lighting behind us.
I just think we need a better.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Better,
I know. We'll get that someday. Maybe when we hit 20,000. We're over 18,000 right now, guys.
We did make it over.
Yeah, we're over 18,000. So that's really, really cool. Perfectly Blessed says hello to all. Hello. Thanks for being here. Prosper says, hey guys, I'll always be here if I'm able to make it. You guys are FAE family. Don't need eBay to be in this live with you. Great bunch. Not at all. I just was worried that, well, maybe he's not interested in the eBay talk anymore. RV Butterfly says, we used to kind of slow down a little now, getting older. Yeah, getting older makes things tougher. You know, you get all this wisdom and then you can't use it, right? Because you can't get out of bed. And then when you do, you tweak something and you're like, oh, my back was jacked up last week. And, you know, here I am about to go on a golfing trip, and the last thing you want is your back to be screwed up. But it's like, you know, a couple days, I'm like, I could like barely walk, you know, and it's hard to get motivated. It's hard to stay out there and on your feet when you're just like, I just want to sit down right now. So, you know, just keep grinding. But the old thing is not going to make it any easier. I can tell you that. Mark Sudick says your cam may be changing light at your end, but not for all of us. Awesome.
Okay.
Good.
Well, good to know.
So you guys can start looking at the screen and not the chat. That's fine. Andy Reno says, hey, John, can you describe how you schedule a draft? So in your draft, you're setting up a listing, and there's an option to schedule the listing. So you click, you activate that, and you have to set it'll pop up a calendar date. You choose the date you want to list it and the time. So then once you're done with the listing, you don't need to keep it. You don't save it. You go in and launch it. Okay. And then it'll say your item is scheduled. So whatever date you have it set for, it'll launch at that time. I tend to like to launch mine about 6 or 7 a.m. and I like to stagger them every 10 to 15 minutes. Don't ask me why. I just do. Malibu Stacy says, sorry, Jenna, but John did say brisket initially. Yes. I need Malibu Stacy to be present for a lot of our discussions because chances are.
Listen to me. You need to. This person's been removed.
Oh, okay. Well, but that doesn't mean they're wrong. I'm just saying.
On that comment.
Okay. Picky Ricky says, I saw your negative. I don't know why you let it bother you. Your slate is clean apart from that. So someone had a negative. I don't know who that was, but yeah, don't let negatives bother you. Wanda says, looking good, Jenna. Howdy from Eastern North Carolina. Warmer today around 50. Warmer today around 50.
50?
Is that Celsius?
We're sitting at 90.
Yeah. Is that Celsius? That can't be Fahrenheit.
Yes, we are at 90 degrees, and tomorrow it's supposed to be 95. So we went literally yesterday was the first day that I haven't worn socks for 24. I wear, other than being in the shower, I have socks on all day because I'm freezing. Yesterday, I had no more socks.
So for her, she has like a 10-degree window. So if it's under that, it's like, let's throw the heater on to like lava conditions.
No.
If it's above that 10-degree mark, it's like we need to find the nearest igloo to go hang out in or prop up the AC so that it's on full blast. So yeah, that's the toughest thing, dealing with that. So
it's a little extreme and dramatic, but yes,
it's very close.
Very close.
Let's see. Guide says, speaking of feedback, someone sent neutral and the way they described it was definitely not the same item. Thought about reaching out and getting them changed, but they could revise to do something worse. So I had one where they left me a neutral feedback and it wasn't even the item. Like the shirt didn't fit. I'm like, but I sold you a CD player, so I don't know what happened there. I sent them a message. They're like, oh, sorry. And then they ended up revising their feedback. But, and sometimes Guru says, let sleeping dogs lie with neutral feedback. The problem is some people will look at your feedback to say, okay, I'm interested in buying this item, but who am I dealing with? Okay. So they'll go in, they'll look at your feedback and they'll go, oh, yeah, it's neutral, but this doesn't seem too good. And that might prevent someone from buying your item and moving on. So just be mindful of that. Bonnie Brink, hi from Gardening Sis. I use the best offer quite often. Yes. Roman says, I can tell you one thing, that Ross currently has more resellers in the store than Goodwill or Salvation Army. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, that was one of the first places I started sourcing shoes. But then again, even with Ross's prices, there's not enough meat on the bone by the time you get it on eBay and all that. And I was even using my seller certificate so I didn't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, but that was when we first lost our jobs,
Yeah.
and we were just,
That was sad.
that was terrible. I look back now and it's like, wow.
It's so funny
I'm
because
so glad we've grown.
so funny because we went to like a bunch of Marshalls and Rosses, and even I think we hit a couple Burlingtons, and we got a carload of stuff, anything from like toys to like Nikes to different stuff on clearance. Brought it back. I had it all piled up, and I did one of those, those prison photos, like I'm sitting in front of the item, the whole stack of items behind me, and we posted on Facebook. I was so proud of it, and to this day, if I go back and look at that photo and like how sad that haul was, because they didn't sell very well, and I didn't make a whole lot on that haul. It wasn't a whole lot to be proud of, right?
No.
Looking back on it. So I don't know.
It's the good, the bad, and the ugly on this channel. You win some, you lose some.
Prosper says, I filed that claim to eBay that the manager told me about, and they came back with a month free on the store subscription and apologized for the service I'd received. It was basically a gesture of goodwill. That's awesome. Unfortunately, there's not enough people at eBay that is willing to take the steps to make it right. You encounter one of those, usually it's a supervisor, but you encounter one of those individuals, and it makes you feel better about, at least temporarily, about eBay. And, when I had them with that damage item claim, and that supervisor called me out of the blue and said, I want to make it up to you. I want to give you the $100 for the item. Cool. I wasn't expecting that. And, none of us knew at the time that UPS was in the process of sending me a check for the damage. So it worked out. Guide says, I hold my offers until I have a slow day. That usually gets at least in a couple of sales. Yep. And there's nothing wrong with changing that, right? As long as you're working your account, you're in control of your account, you're on top of your account, and you're just not sitting back and just, waiting for something to happen. You're being proactive. So that's really good. CM Retro Gaming says, word up, word up. Thanks for being here. Daniel Dummett says, what is a good profit margin? Well, let's see. I'm about a month behind on my spreadsheets. I would say anything, in my opinion. Now, everyone's different, but used to be I was between 50 and 60%. And then came promoted listings. So you're giving more to eBay, right? So I'm in the high 40s right now, both of my stores. And that is not taking into account the month of March, because I haven't done March yet. I'm just behind. I've been dealing with, once I get
taxes.
Thank God that's over with. So send them their money, and now I just have to deal with next year. But now I can get back on track. I mean, today is scramble mode. Tomorrow morning is scramble mode before I leave to Arizona. But when I get back, it's going to get, caught up. So the fun part of March and taxes, I tell you, that's March Madness for me. It's not basketball. Prosper says, but still didn't remove the negative feedback. It would have saved them money just to remove it. Yeah. Their thought, though, eBay doesn't want to get involved with the buyer's perspective. And their thought is, well, if the buyer felt this way about the transaction, that's their right, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, that's the case, but fortunately, it doesn't hurt you as much as it used to. I tell you that. Picky Ricky says, complaining works. I complained to eBay this week, and they ended up refunding me and the buyer. Sometimes reps will just do something to get you off the phone.
Just to get you off the phone. Just shut up.
Yeah, like and really, that is their true goal. It a lot of times
I do that with him all the time.
Yeah, well, she doesn't get paid to do that either. But a lot of times you get a phone rep. I don't care if it's you're calling about your electric bill, calling about this, calling about that. The mindset of a rep is this person's a pain in the A when you're complaining to them, and they're like, in the back of the mind is like, how do I get this person off my line? And if they have the ability to do something to make that happen, they're going to do it. And I think you get that nice little old lady on the phone the next call, and then you kind of milk it, right? So you're trying to get through your 8-hour shift. That's the mentality of a lot of people in the call center industry, and it works. So I guess you could be the squeaky wheel, but at the end of the day, someone told me many times that be careful the time you spend on the phone. That's why I haven't called so often this year over the last year, unless it was really, really important, because that's time you could be spending doing something else, right? Unless you can throw it on speakerphone and then while you work, I wouldn't even bother half the time, especially over a negative. And sometimes I do stuff just for content on the channel, by the way. So just to make that clear.
Sometimes he's just feeling spicy.
Yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't sit with me the right way. So I'm out in the garage. I'm like, okay, I can turn the music off, throw it on speakerphone, and still get the work done. Let's see. This is for Roman. He says, you think flipping ain't easy. Try living next to Putin.
No, he's talking about the guy from
Oh,
Ukraine.
I thought he was. Oh, yes. I forgot about that. But I'm sure, Roman is from Russia. I don't know what part of Russia he's from, but I'm sure Putin's been in power since like 1990 something. So I'm sure he knows a lot about that guy. Mike Camparelli says, whenever I send out an offer to watchers, I add a message. Thanks to all the watchers, offer good for 48 hours only. First come, first serve. This adds urgency to the offer. It helps. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have and this is something that I'm glad you mentioned that, Mike. It's always good to have a template. And when I say template, like if you have like a Windows PC, I'm sure Mac has it as well. Have a note pad file. So I have this called feedback template, but it went from feedback. Like if I wanted to set like feedback, I didn't even type it. I just copy and pasted it. This is like an old file that I've added to it. So I have send offer template. I have an invoice template. I even have a use shoot condition template, that I just throw in when I'm making my listings. But the send offer template says, here's your chance to get a great deal on this item. We're offering a steep discount to only a limited number of interested buyers. Once this sells out, the sale is over. Please don't miss out. And it barely fits the number of characters. And I just copy and paste that with the offer. Picky Ricky says, we currently can't send things to Ukraine and Russia. I don't think either. I'm not sure if we can, but
yeah, I think
I ain't even sending it to Europe either.
We're not sending it to Mexico or Canada or anywhere else.
Nope. Not right now.
Till they can get their head out of our store or fingers out of our store.
Well, just leave it alone. The first time they come back at me with just something funny, like you can't sell this keyboard to Europe when that brand sells to Europe anyway. Yeah. It's like, okay, that's ridiculous. So fine, I won't sell anything to Europe.
Not sell anything to anybody.
CM Retro says, I don't take lowball offers personally, just decline and block. Yes. Noah Design says, Jenna, hope you're ready for Friday. Turnout should be huge, and I bet Jenna is going to be a hella jelly on the turnout. Probably will get a cold shoulder when he gets back. Nah, I won't. I'm going to make her her own little thumbnail for the live. So it's not going to be my mug going like that. It's going to be hers. So that's the goal, at least. And you'll probably get a notification for the live for Friday, probably tonight or tomorrow, because I want to set up the live so that it's already ready to go, so she's not having to deal with it and all that. So
I don't want to be flustered.
Tommy says, I get at least 4 to 5 messages a day. Will you take X? I block, tell him to go to the flea market and send a link to Roman's store. That's awesome. That is awesome. See, with reselling though, you're going to do what your current sales allow you to do. So there's many times, especially like when I worked in the call center industry, I would have loved to be able to tell someone what I really thought, right? And, to me, it's like I'm relying on this person to make a sale, right? So I'm not going to really say what I really think. Hopefully they'll, come up in price and take the item and move on, and we're both happy. But if I was making really, really, really great sales without best offer, I would do a lot of this just for fun. Maybe I'd give them like someone else's store link or something like that. I think that's great. It's pretty funny. We got Soul Steps is in the house. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Prosper says, I'm writing the free subscription to see how it rides out since I'm not focused on eBay. No new listings going up other than what's in draft bank, and listings slowly go down in number. Well, but if you have other alternative that's working, then I do what works for you. Says, no wonder that's why Roman has such high traffic. Barbara says, hello from sunny California.
Yep, we know
Yeah,
it's warm there.
Yeah, it's warm.
My whole family was sitting by the pool this weekend in sunny Southern California.
Yes. And it's going to go down in temperature out in this way. Depends on where you're from. It sounds like you're from Southern California based on that.
You think?
Well, it could be sunny in Northern California. But this time of year, it's usually not, right? See, Jovial says that international buyer bought 4 items, didn't realize items could not be combined into one box. Message buyer asking if they wanted to cancel order. Buyer still wanted the items and said he would take it up with eBay. Imagine the amount of international fees incurred with that transaction. Wow. Well, hopefully this buyer doesn't take it up with his credit card company. That would be another total can of worms that's going to be on your lap, unfortunately. Tommy says, best offer buyers and low dollar items equate to 100% of every problem I've ever had on eBay. Try to play in the park with people, but that have expendable money. Yeah, if you sell a certain type of item, it draws a certain type of clientele. The type of shoes you sell do attract people that do have money. That is a good thing. But just know that things are fine right now for you, but that's just another tool in your back pocket if sales do slow down. Something to consider.
Tommy has that problem.
I think Tommy is set in his ways. So I think that he's like, I ain't using best offer. I don't care how slow it gets. Willing to bet that's his thought on that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's very set in his ways. Ferret Fan says, sold the vintage Sonic the Hedgehog soft lunchbox in excellent used condition, and the buyer left negative feedback last night saying, ooh, used. eBay removed the feedback. Some buyers are really dumb. Yes. It's really weird how sometimes you'll spell it out. You'll spell out every little problem with the item in the condition description and the item description. And then they, will say, I didn't realize it was used. Well, you didn't read the listing. You didn't look at the photos. Obviously, you didn't do any of that.
Didn't do read or nothing. Tyler said we just got a really big box delivery.
Okay. I don't have offers enabled, but I do send them without counter offers off. Yes, I do turn the counter offers off on the app. I just don't like the disappearing ka-ching on my phone. Every ka-ching I get is a definite sale. Yeah.
I think we all look forward to the cha-ching.
Yes. Zarek Reagan says, hey, I finally made it to your live for the first time. I am from South Florida. Awesome. I'm sure it's humid right now. It starts to get humid this time of year, but yes, Florida is pretty cool. No Design says, God, I hate Ross. Yeah, I don't source there at all. It's been since 2019 since I started buying pallets. Tommy says, yeah, I'm not doing a layaway program. Ask Kmart. That's working out. CM Retro, I do get a little upset when a buyer sends an offer I accept and they don't pay right away. Yeah, it's frustrating. Beyond
frustrating.
I mean, what you could do is say, look, instead of using the best offer option, saying, you know what, I'm willing to give it to you for $30. I'll adjust the price right now if you're willing to pay. And if you haven't paid in the next half an hour, I'm going to put the price back and see if they agree to that. I mean, that's another option you can use as well. Piggy Ricky says, I had the first non-payment last week after a couple of years just because I finally sent some offers out. It happens. Damon the Big Dog says, I added best offer because eBay said I should include it in the listing report. Hopefully it's worth it. Yeah, I mean, look, eBay will tell you, here's all the things you need to do. Here's what we recommend, right? And I think most of it's fairly good advice, but just everything you do will increase the chances of you making the sale. And ultimately, no matter what we think of eBay, they have every interest in us making a sale because every sale that's made, they get a cut of. And so we could think what we want. They're holding us back, they're throttling my account. I'm not making any money. But it's really not because eBay doesn't want you to make the money. They've given you the platform. They have every interest to do that. So follow their advice. That's usually a good thing to do. But make sure that you're evaluating your business. If you're tearing it up, there's no need to use best offer. But for a lot of us, it is a good tool to have. CM Retro Gaming, is it a better strategy to just lower the price of the item if you have more than 2 watchers rather than send out the offer to one person? It used to be that I would send out offers to watchers only for the bump in the search algorithm. And it's funny, I would like at the end of the night, I'd have 10 offers to send out. That would be like the last thing I do, send out the offers that night. And the next morning, I'd wake up, no surprise, some of those items would sell, but they would sell at full price to someone else. And that was the reason why mainly I did best offer. In fact, not best offer, but offers to watchers. I would set it at the lowest discount I can. I think it's 5%. So I would go in and put the same price in there for my offer to watcher. And in red, it says, no, you have to come back with an offer of at least 95.32. So fine, 95.32. Because I wasn't interested in selling the item as, for a watcher for only 5% or less than 5%. And that worked a lot. Let's see. Guide Guru says some people do search with the best offer filter, so you'll definitely get more eyes. Yes. The Tommy Bernard podcast says, yes, people that search with the best offer filter is the buyer you don't want. Not always. I can't say, if I take the 20, 25% of people that have bought from me with best offer, it's still a very small percentage of the people that, I'm just talking about this year. We've probably sold at least 50 items this year, 40 or 50 items this year between both accounts where we've taken best offer. And honestly, when I took the return, I think in a couple occasions I said, oh yeah, they got a deal and whatever, but it's no higher ratio than my current return ratio, I don't think. But everyone's different. Everyone has a different kind of buyer. Noah Design says, don't worry, Jenna. I have all the time to vent about Posh and eBay on Fridays, unfiltered.
No, I will be filtered to a degree. This is still John's channel.
That's our channel. Stop it.
mean,
Zarek says, when I sent an offer to a seller on eBay, I had to input my credit card information. So if the seller accepts my offer, I'd get charged right away. Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's on the buyer level. So eBay just hasn't gotten to it to where every buyer is required to do that.
I cannot wait for that day. I think we should have a
party
on a live.
Wanda says, bought a designer purse last week, was disappointed though in the item and seller. Turns out it was more used and a factory second that was not mentioned. Will never buy from her again.
Wow.
See, it's that kind of seller that they misrepresent their item. They think that, okay, this thing is badly used or whatever, and maybe I can pass it off as just new, used once. They'll say new, used once, but they know it wasn't used once. And they think that they can get away with it. They can get more money out of the sale because the condition's better. And it's pretty sad, unfortunately. Tommy says, I find buyers who ask a ton of questions more often than not, ending up wanting to return the item, getting a partial refund. I block them now. Yeah, I block people that people cancel. So buy the item and found a better price or changed my mind or bought it on accident. Okay, all right, fine. I'll accept the cancellation. You're blocked. Because, it's people that are kind of sketchy like that, I don't want to deal with. Someone who returned my item when it's not my fault, they get a block. Someone who asks 20,000 questions. I put a lot of information in my listing. So and you're not reading that information. That information's in the listing, but you're asking me about it. Well, I'll answer it. But after like the second or third question, after they strike out, I will then say, forget it. I don't need this buyer. So I'm just saying there's some people in here. Let's see. Guide Guru says, yeah, even though I have offers off, I do get messages for offers. They usually are fair. Sometimes if the buyer has to reach out, it makes them more likely to be fair. I mean, they're making an effort, right? So someone is looking at your item, they're making an effort to say, hey, I have some interest in this item. And I think sometimes we don't know what their motivation is. We don't know their situation. And I think someone that comes to you with, I want to give you your $50 item, I want to pay you 10, we get offended by it, but maybe that's legitimately what they can afford. And legitimately a seller has, or more than one seller has taken them up on that low ball offer. So, hey, they're going to try it again. It just kind of goes back to the yard sale mentality. You know, most of us that are watching this program utilize low ball tactics to get our merchandise. I mean, I do. And I'm not stealing it from somebody. I'm putting the offer out there, and it may seem low. They wanted 5, I'm offering 2. They have a choice. Do I want to accept this and move on from it out of my garage? Or am I trying to squeeze as much money out of this yard sale that I can? And I'm going to say no. But you'll never know if you never ask for a lower price at a yard sale. A, you're going to be spending too much money on your items. And B, you're never going to know if you can get a lower deal. So, and I think a lot of people are uncomfortable. They don't want to be embarrassed, whatever it is. But I don't blame these people from lowballing you. But eBay gives you the tools to block that nonsense. But yet, we don't utilize them. At least the people that get upset about the lowball offers don't utilize those tools, and then kind of allow it to get under their skin. There's no need for it. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, can you grab that, honey? Now I wonder what's going to happen on Friday when they ring the doorbell and it's just Jenna here. So that's going to be very interesting. You might have some dead air for a few minutes while the dogs bark. Biff says, I will admit lowballers can be annoying, but not enough to remove the best offer option. I have the filter in place to auto decline anything truly stupid. Yeah. So then you get something that might be intriguing. Well, I set my low ball for $40. I really kind of want 60. You know, I have it priced for 80. Maybe, you know, then you can negotiate. I mean, chances are they may not even decide to come back to you, but I would rather someone come to me and give me the opportunity to make a sale than to say, well, you know, they don't have best offer turned on, so I'll go to the next person and try to find a deal. CM Retro says, I only sell on eBay and whatnot right now. But yeah, cross post for sure. I think cross posting is a good thing. It's a good idea. There's some people who will not do business with eBay at all. Maybe they had a bad experience on eBay and they're now on Posh to buy their clothing. Maybe they're on Mercari or other sites to buy whatever else they need. And they've totally said, F you, eBay. I don't want to deal with you anymore. They've had some bad sellers, like the seller that Wanda dealt with who misrepresented the item. And there's a market out there for your items for those people who are not using eBay. And, you know, you can utilize whatever tool you want. And there's a link down below if you want to check out the Prime Lister link. You get 2 free weeks without a credit card. And just to check out the tool, what I like is the idea where you can do bulk offers to watchers on those platforms like Posh and Mercari. You can send them offers and that type of thing too. Jan says, sorry so late joining in. Deltona, Florida here. Awesome. Florida is a really cool state. I like that state. Tax-free, good place to resell. You don't have to worry about paying, well, sales tax you pay unless you have a seller certificate, but state income tax you don't have to deal with, a lot like Nevada. PTS Treasure started cross-listing to Mercari and Posh first week of March. So how's that working for you? It's been over a month now. How the sales been on the other platforms? Prosser says, I'm working on building my own site behind the scenes and doing all the Google SEO optimization and coding on the site. Just got it past the Google sandbox before I can launch it live. And that's one of the features. You know, I told you guys about this whole FedEx thing. They just started doing the pickups today. And yeah, they just started the pickups today and they came on time. Everything was good.
Wait, weren't they early?
No.
I thought the window was 2 to something.
They came at 2:30. Oh. I looked at the clock. I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So the thing, and the reason why I mentioned that in this comment is because when we met with Ryan, the FedEx guy, he had mentioned that they have.
We just got a bunch of supplies.
Okay.
There's a huge box.
Okay. So he mentioned that they have folks that work with them. They charge them like $5,000 to consult. They're consultants, and they consult with you on how to get your stuff on your own, like your own Shopify, and how to drive traffic, the different strategies. And FedEx, after you've built a relationship with them, they allow you one of those sessions that they cover per quarter. And so that's kind of cool to have that in your back pocket if you are doing something like that. It's now you're in the UK, so I don't know, if you have anything like that, but just to know that if I eventually was to do something like that, and to drive my own traffic to my own site, that is something I'll have in my back pocket to be able to say, hey, what can I do to optimize this thing? Because I would be like, I don't know what I'm doing, right, as far as driving traffic to your site. That stranger says, I've had a better than usual with Mercari lately, but a lot of things I won't list there because they're very limited shipping choices. You could build in shipping and then just run your own labels. But when it comes to Posh and Mercari, I would rather them pay Mercari for that label. It's a lot easier. Just kick out the label. I already know the weight and the dimensions of the package. And, especially Posh, they give you 5 pounds to work with. And that really works well. Let's see. Nature Made in Utah says, I turned off best offer as a test for a week. My sales went to hell, turned them back on, and offers poured in. Good way to get rid of the crap. I mean, that's what we do, right? And I think a lot of...
You just have to play the game. Playing Posh, eBay, Mercari, they all work the same way.
I guarantee you there's some people in here that play Monopoly and refuse to buy railroads because you can't buy houses and hotels for them, okay? And they think it's a waste of money when they're playing Monopoly. Now, I know that many of you are removed many years, like myself, from playing Monopoly, but I recall many people I played with always poo-pooed on the railroads. They didn't want to buy them. They were always the first ones to get mortgaged because they thought it was a waste of time. But then they start landing on your railroads when you have all 4 of them, and they're crying that they have to pay you $200 every time they hit this isn't a Monopoly channel, but it's just to give you, some people are set in their ways. Some people are, I guess they don't want to admit sometimes they've bought bad stuff, and they say, look, this sold twice in the last year for $50. I ain't selling it for any less than 50. And, they could have probably moved it if they had best offer set up, maybe moved it, made a little profit on the item for 35 or 40, but they were just stuck in their ways and just didn't want to play the game. Let's see. Diane says, I had an offer on 6 plates. He messaged and sent he could take them all for 20 each. My price was $39.99, same price as everyone else. Good sell-through rates. He must have thought I would jump. They're gonna try, and maybe, look, he doesn't know how long you've had those plates. Maybe you've been trying for a year to sell those plates, and nobody's even come your way. There's a chance that someone else in your position would have jumped on that. Ed says, yes, he knows I resell. He knows that I can't buy the same quantity at the price he has it now. Unfortunately, he's more like me, manager of the booth. I never met the owner. So maybe it's time. More like the manager of the booth. Yeah. Okay. I never met the seller or the owner. So maybe it's time to try to get that information, try to find the owner, right? Maybe it's time to say, and I don't know what you're able to do, but maybe you're buying like $200 a week or every 2 weeks from this person. Maybe you double up, right? Maybe say I can, buy more if that's going to keep the price low. Find out where, what their interest is, but let them know they're going to lose a consistent buyer if, they run you out. Purple Hustle says, starting sourcing from Via Trading was buying pallets of media from a local liquidation store that screwed me over. I was told they started selling the media on eBay and Amazon. So you bought from Via Trading. Now, you started sourcing from Via Trading. So is that something you're still doing? Seems like you're buying pallets of media from local liquidation stores instead. So I'm kind of curious about that. As far as Via Trading, for me, I got me a sale. And I sold one of the items I got in that pallet just now. You guys know I did that via trading video, and that pop-up movie theater kit I just sold. I sold it for $53.99 plus $25.49 shipping. So, zero cost of goods on that. So it was okay. I think I had it priced a little higher, but
speaking of via trading.
Well, yeah, but the
I
whole
just thought it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way things work. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we get lucky sales that pop up during the conversation. But as far as via trading, look, I would check in on them every so often and use them for sourcing. If I was able to pick up the stuff and I live somewhat close, we were still in Southern California, I certainly would. For me, it's just that I'm between yard sales and a couple other local things I have set up here that it's just not. Buying large pallets right now is not in the cards. It's sad. I like pallets, but until I need to, that'll always be in my back pocket. But currently, I'm just doing something different right now. No One Design says, I know a really great shoe liquidator. Hit him up. His name is Tommy. The Solo Expat says, any recent return horror stories? Someone returned an old wet shirt from my store. Oh. So they went swimming with it in the pool.
Disgusting.
They could have the decency to dry it off, throw it outside, let it dry in the sun. That's sad. Let's see. Thomas says, yeah, Ed, I have reseller boxes. They best cap I don't want. The best crap I don't want. So I didn't put my other contacts in. So
no,
I'm going blind right now. Yeah. Cassandra says, my sales are slow, but slowly starting to pick up. I'm going back through each listing to recheck comps and update titles. Yeah.
Sometimes we have to do that. I find myself doing that a lot.
Guide says you can always run a fake sale, mark your inventory up 20% and run a 30% off sale. You can. I just never mess with that. I'm at the point where I'm running a 10% markdown sale, and then I have a 10% public coupon. That's 20%. If that's not enough for someone, then hey, I'm not going to go any deeper on the discount than that. Let's see. John Gaynor says, I find putting more items up helps with sales, and discounts work better than best offers. Well, you can do all those things. Putting up more items, of course, you're building up the size of your store. It's a numbers game. You have a lot of items. If you have a seller that sells the exact same items, they have half the number of items than you. Chances are their sales numbers are going to be around half. Now, give or take, depending on what they're doing, their account health and all that stuff comes into play. But, the more items you have in your store does work. But I like using all the tools. That's just kind of what I do. Let's see if I can get past some of these. Edward McHugh says, Central Florida, I came home today to find my kids have been on eBay all day. They're still here tomorrow. I'll lower the price. When did that become legal? Jan says, Jenna, I also have a 10-degree window. Hubby and I have a running joke about my perfect temperature zone. Yeah, I will
I don't really right now. I have high highs and low lows, and they fluctuate all day, every day.
I will notice that it's like either like last week she had the heater up and she was burning me out, right? So I'm like, okay, this ain't gonna happen. So I slowly sneak around. She's watching TV in the living room, right? They have it on like full blast, shaking the wall right here. So I know she ain't gonna hear the click, click, click of the Nest thermostat. So I slowly turn it back down to where it should be. I find myself doing that all the time, even though I should just get the dang app.
Not anymore. I'm about to go and turn
I'm downloading
the
app
on.
I'm downloading the app before I leave. So when I'm down in Arizona, I'm going to turn that thing back to where it should.
No, you're not. You leave tomorrow afternoon.
I am.
And AC is on.
I'm going to have the app, and she's going to go, why does this thing keep turning off? It's because it's me. When I get reception,
you won't have reception.
I'm going to go into town. When I go into town every day,
you don't go into town.
I go into town on the way to the golf course. Yes, and I will hit that thermostat. CM Retro says, I don't get hung up buying from someone with one negative or neutral feedback. I figure if they have 100 great seller feedbacks, yeah, and it's really the one-offs don't get me because I'll look. If I'm buying from someone, I want to see what kind of Yahoo am I dealing with, because there's Yahoos out there Yahoo Yahoos. They just take their time. They don't ship on time. They don't respond to buyer questions or inquiries, that kind of thing. That's bad. So if I look at feedback saying that this is happening on a large scale, I ask myself if I want to be aggravated. Do I need the item that bad to continue?
Yeah, Rowan says I'm gonna delete the app from your phone before you
I can always download it when I have reception.
Nope.
There's ways to do it.
You won't have good enough reception to download apps.
Nature Made of Utah says, what name brands of shoes have to be authenticated, or off brands okay to sell without the hassle? A lot of it's depending. This is my experience. A lot of it depends on price. If you have a thing priced over $75, chances are it's going to be authenticated or need to be. Let's see. Cassandra says, so true. I look back on things I got a year ago and say, what the heck was I thinking? Yeah. Tommy says you could buy gift cards online and save another 5 to 15% depending on the gift card inventory. I do well with Burlington, Ross, TJ Maxx, etc. Interesting. I just don't, drive to this Ross, drive to that Ross, drive to this Marshalls, drive to that Burlington, and I'm going all the way around. And it's like, do I really want to spend that kind of time?
But then on the other hand, you're driving from one yard sale to the next.
But that's different. That's fun. Ross isn't fun.
No, I agree with you 110%. However, I'm just saying, like, you're saying one thing that just you're doing the same thing with a different type.
I want to have fun. I want to find that next
fun going
but you know what you're going to find at Ross.
Ross to TJ Maxx to Marshalls.
You might find a different shoe.
I like doing that when I'm buying.
But you might find a different shoe. You might find a different shirt at this Ross than the last one. But you're not going to find a home run at Ross. Maybe, maybe not. But at a yard sale, it's always going to be a possibility you find something really good. So that's what motivates me to want to drive to different communities and that, to do all that. It's fun. Wanda says, why do some sellers feel buyers are not worthy of returned feedback? Disrespectful, arrogant, uncaring. I just understand their attitude being, I'm better than you are. I don't know. I mean, look, if the shoe fits, wear it, kind of thing is my mindset. So if you're a bad seller, you deserve negative feedback when you treat buyers badly. I've always been attentive to my buyers and communicate quickly and try to be as fair as I can. Not always going to give them the resolution they're looking for, but it's not because I ignored them or didn't try. I can't always.
Sometimes they don't give you the option to be able to resolve the situation. They just go flying in there, making some kind of accusation in a rating when it was totally false.
Yeah.
Mail
come yet?
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't have to freak out. Rosie says, hi, John and Jenna. I've been listing and lost track of time. Hoping things are well and you're keeping busy. Have a good trip. And Jenna, you're going to do great on Friday. Yes, it'll be fun. I just wish I was here to experience it. I wish I was that fly on the wall.
No,
I won't even be able to see it live.
You'd be doing it if
I won't be able to see it live.
Here.
I'll have to watch it like probably 2 days later on my way back or something. But Guy Guru says, I wish eBay would allow you to accept offers by percentage instead of a dollar amount for bulk revision. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Only give you a 10% window anyway.
You can set whatever price you want.
No, I know, but I'm saying like the lowest you like.
Well, this is accepting an offer from somebody. So they say,
no, I know.
Will you take 50 for this? And you got to come back. If you counter, you have to give a dollar amount. See, Tommy says, because I don't need problems, the items sell themselves. Messages and low ballers equate to problems and layaways 99% of the time. I don't need best offers, thankfully. And that is exactly it. I mean,
we all want to be like you, Tommy.
Yeah.
We do.
He's happy. He's happy with the sales. So why would he add that to the mix? I mean, that was kind of what I said. If you're fine with your current setup, then you should never, introduce anything new. Alan says, just saw the 60-minute piece on e-commerce bites. Give me a greater appreciation for what you guys do on this channel. Thank you. Well, I think
Yeah, that's a heck of a story, isn't it?
Yeah, that if you haven't watched it, I mean, I don't have a link to share with you, but it's on YouTube. You can probably find it by looking up eBay 60 minutes. But it just gives you an idea of what happened back in like 2000, I think it was 2018, 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And eBay execs did a lot of things that, I mean, you would never think that anyone would do, let alone someone in the corporate world.
Yeah.
And it just leaves that thought in the back of my mind that if they can do something that horrendous to someone who maybe they don't like, what could they do within their own, programming or whatever to flag your account to make life difficult for you without technically breaking the law, right?
Right, which leads me to always tell you, well, you've got that one guy that's sitting in the office that's got your name, your account on his screen 24/7.
So, wrong comment. Silver Hair Stacker says golf shoes are for good players. I play in my New Balance sneakers. I have actually like 3 pairs of golf shoes. One I don't wear anymore. I got to get up listed. The other 2 I wear, I kind of interchange them based on what I'm wearing. But I got to tell you, I'm not a good player. Okay. I play decently sometimes. I have like runs where it's like, wow, I start feeling like maybe I should join the tour. And then the water hazard on the next hole like pops up and brings me back down to reality. It's not necessarily for good players. It's just, serious players, I think. I think I'm a serious player, but I'm not very good. A good round for me is when I don't break someone's window.
Which isn't often.
No, it isn't. And then I run real fast when I do. I have lots of stories about that. I had a friend of mine. He's a pretty good golfer. He hit an iron. He hit a ball that went straight to someone's sliding glass door in their backyard, and it just webbed. It shattered the sliding glass door. Just drops the ball, hits another ball, and he just gets in the cart and moves on like it's nothing. I'm like, wow, they're gonna come home and open the slider, and all the glass is gonna fall. It's sad.
Yeah, you've got to have some kind of strange insurance for that.
They do. They have to have insurance, but there's signs all over golf courses that says you're responsible for the ball you hit. But
how are they going to know?
They're insured.
I mean, there's no cameras on the golf course.
Tommy says, I totally 100% agree. If you mentally can handle best offers mentally, it's probably good to use it. I know my limits and I don't deal with people well, especially bad beats.
We know you don't deal with people well, Tommy.
Roman can vouch for that statement. Prosper says, since I got my unit started doing furniture, return pallets, and making up landlord bedroom sets, they sell well right out of the unit. So no need for listings anywhere other than local pages. Awesome. So you got a gig. That works good.
Yeah.
Jason Byers official. Do watchers even get a notification of prices lowered on an item? Yes.
Yeah.
Watchers get notified. 5% is the number, I believe, where eBay will send them a message saying, hey, this item is just lowered the price, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, eBay thinks you're a real watcher when you're a seller and you're just looking at a listing to do research, right? And they think I get so many. I used to. I don't get them anymore, but I used to get so many offers from sellers thinking I'm a watcher when all I did was use their listing to like maybe see what they did differently or their comps and was just checking stuff out because I do look at a lot of different listings. Let's see. No One Design says Jenna can take the camera with her to the door if it rings on Friday. At least it gives her some sort of comfort that us interweebs are here with her to keep her safe. But this is plugged into the computer.
It's on the computer. I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
I'll just have to run out and run back.
TikTok says Florida is not tax-free. Prices for property taxes and insurance were always high, but now are forcing people out of the state. Yeah. Okay. So as far as like property taxes, insurance, that kind of thing, insurance is here. Car insurance in Nevada is high. It is high. But as far as paying,
it's worse than California.
It is. It's higher than California. But the idea that, I'm paying more for car insurance, like double for car insurance. I'd rather pay that than have to pay a separate, 5 to 10% income tax to the state. At least that's how I feel. So I don't know. It is what it is. I don't think there's any state that's really quote unquote tax or fee free. I think they find other ways to get you, right? I mean, I drove around in Florida and it was like seemed like every 30 miles there was another toll booth. So it's like, really? It's like, nickel and dime you to death.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get in
Wait,
question
we
or
got a first
something.
time watching live.
Where?
Go up a little bit. Dennis Rojas.
Dennis Rojas, welcome to the channel.
Hi,
First
Dennis.
time watching live. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in just to say hi. That's kind of cool. We like seeing new people in the chat. Sweet Life of Dio Brando. I recently got a refund on some items since the tracking was false. Never trust Yanwen tracking. Interesting. I guess you bought from a Chinese seller, I guess, and they were sending it from China, maybe. Tommy says no rhyme or reason on authentication. I send $40 New Balance and then not 200 shoes. Literally no rhyme or reason. I thought, because I've had some shoes that said initially it was priced at $80, and then it's like, all right, it says authentication. It's like, okay, well, no one's buying these shoes, so I'm into them for like $5 to $10. So let's bring them down to under, I think it was like $60, and then all of a sudden the authentication thing went away. So thinking that it's based on
Prosser
money.
says, I don't play golf. I think it spoils a good walk.
It does.
That is a good one.
It does spoil a good walk when you're not playing well. It is. It's like, this sucks. Jason Byer says Tommy is the Al Bundy of eBay, and he won't even send you your shoes in a box. It's just a damn bag.
That's Tommy. We love Tommy.
Picky Ricky says I hit a golf ball right on somebody's chocolate starfish once.
My God.
They beat the crap out of me, but what's a chocolate starfish? I don't know. I don't know what that is. On someone's chocolate starfish.
Don't say it again.
Oh. I never heard of it called that.
You haven't?
Yes.
Not even when you were a teenager?
Why would you hit it off of someone's butt anyway?
They must. It was.
That you got to be really bad to hit someone with a golf ball. But with that said, I've seen it happen. A friend of ours, he was like on a different green, and someone hit a ball from another hole. It didn't even say 4, and it hit him in the forehead, and he had like a big lump. And
wow.
Yeah. So I was always joking with him, saying, and he actually tripped, like fell down a hill one time on a different golf course, just tripped over himself.
Jeez.
So I'd like make fun, say, yeah, you played on some courses I never played, tripping hills and nodding head. What? It was Julio.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was funny.
Is he going?
I don't know. He might even be watching. Julio might be. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. Let's see. Tommy says knowing your limits is half the battle. Yeah, knowing where you got to be in a sale and what your limits are and all that stuff is definitely half the battle. Yeah, chocolate starfish. That sounds like something derogatory. Where the hell did you see that before? I've never heard that.
It's an old saying.
Gosh.
It's
well,
disgusting.
I'm supposed to be old, I guess. That's weird.
You weren't quite as.
Tommy says John never got to experience Vegas ladies of the night, I guess. No, it's not my thing. Let's see. Brown Star. It's funny. That reminds me, Brown Star and all that stuff. You know that joke when we got to town, people are saying, what's a good thing in Vegas to do to pass the time? And people would always say, go to the Red Door.
Red Door?
Yeah,
that was Green Lantern.
No, you're thinking of all this Marvel crap that you keep watching. No, it's they say go to the Red Door, and it's like, well, what's the Red Door? They're like, yeah, it's a fun place to go, this, that, and the other thing. And turns out, of course, I didn't go look for it. I mean, I just basically like, what the hell is this Red Door? You look it up, and it's some kind of swingers club somewhere. But it's kind of like a funny joke, like that's around Vegas.
It was a big joke during when we were all shut down, that even the Red Doors shut down.
Yeah.
You can't even go to the Red Door during this time.
Picky Ricky says not derogatory. It's trying to not be unpolite about something that's called bad things often. I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever call it a starfish of any kind. But okay, I mean, it doesn't even look like a starfish. So unless you got an ugly
that's
butt,
gonna be a conversation.
Unless you got an ugly,
we end this,
yes,
he's gonna be thinking about it.
I'm like, unless you got like a deformed butt or something, there's no reason to call it a starfish. Let's see. Roman says, Tommy, nowadays you don't want to experience this because you have to make sure it's a lady. Red Rooster? No, it's the green door. The green door. I think that's what it is.
See, I said Green Lantern.
Yeah, green door. But I'm sure the red door.
Yeah, they're from AEIOU is from Vegas.
I've not heard of the Red Rooster, but the green door is what it is. But I don't care.
See, I was right on the color. You were
Still, I'm not going to go check it out for myself. That's for sure. John almost got caught in a eyes wide shut moment.
He does all the time. It's not.
Nick Picker says the Nike Hyperdunks I've listed goes to authentication when priced at $75. It does not when priced at $74.87.
Yeah,
I thought it was around $75, but it's just weird. I don't know. So it's okay to sell, knockoffs if it's under 75, but if you are selling knockoffs, you got to keep them under that number. That's a healthy tip for you scammers out there.
Okay, easy on the next couple of
Jovial Juggler says looks much better bleached. I don't know. Is that the starfish?
Still on the starfish.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to skip some of these. Jason says, I've got around authentication not by adjusting price, but by removing certain keywords or style codes in the title from item specifics. Let's see. Says Roman and Tommy sure do share a lot.
Yes, they do.
But I ain't going to talk about starfish anymore. That just doesn't even make sense. It still doesn't make sense. It's not something I would actually say. But here we are. We are an hour and 45 into the program. And hopefully you guys had a good time. I have to scramble and I have a carload full of stuff I picked up, and I'm simply taking it from the back of my SUV. I'm processing it, testing it, photos, wait, put it away, update the listing, launch it. That's kind of my routine. Get the car cleared out, everything listed, put away, and I will be happy that things will be listing this week while I'm gone. So I got to get to that, and I still got like other things to do to get ready for the trip. So want to thank you guys for being here today. Please be here on Friday so that you can help Jenna through the live stream. It'll be at the same time, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And again, just want to thank you guys for being here with us. As far as utilizing the tools that eBay gives us, again, offers to watchers, coupons, markdown sales, and in this case, best offers. These are all tools to help you build your sales if you need a boost in sales. But yet, whether you use it or not is another example of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent start to your week. And we will talk to you guys.
Have a great week, guys. See you Friday.
See you guys.